com to get a discount from the folks at Get and Athena. ECUs, CDIs, gaskets, pistons, all that stuff through Get and Athena. They do God's work over there, those guys. And, of course, Honda HRC using electronics from Get and working pretty well for that Jett Lawrence guy. Also should make note, Dean Wilson's going to be out for a little while, broke his shoulder blade, and Christian Craig will be out till outdoors, and Hunter Lawrence going to miss this weekend as well. So, yeah, thanks, not thanks, but bummer for that. And those guys are going to be missed for sure. It's going to allow some more guys to jump into the 450s right away, so really appreciate that. 702-586-7857. We got some lines open, and, again, it'll be JT and Zacho coming in. Thank you to those guys. Thank you, people, for calling as well. Appreciate it. Like I said, we got some lines open still. Working the phones over there, holding things down. He's doing video, he's doing audio because Marks is off on vacation.
Travis really effed me over here, by the way. I am straight up scrambling.
By the way, legendary.
Thank you. Your guest is actually on line 1.
Okay.
Just so you know.
Fantastic.
I'm going to continue fixing Travis's screw-ups.
Okay. Thank you, buddy.
Okay, thank you.
Appreciate it. Are we on YouTube or no? We're not on YouTube? Okay, we are. All right. Speaking of fly racing, it's Jason Thomas. What's up, JT? How are you?
Kind of disaster you guys working with over there?
I don't know, man. I paid Travis and Tits each a salary to come do this show, but for weeks now, only one of them has been in. So I think they're in cahoots to just do half the work. I haven't figured it out.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Okay, so gonna be a mutter / maybe not mutter, but
it's gonna be something.
It's gonna be something.
Yep.
Rain hard tomorrow. I know the Dirtworks guys got a late start on it. I know that as well. So that kind of sucks for those dudes to do that. And I know that there's lots of problems with building the track right now. They're also going to build a mud track. JT, let's start with that. It's something that I've advocated for because we saw radical changes in San Francisco. They probably should have been more, but they ran out of time. I like it. I think it'll be for some good racing.
Yeah, I'm undecided. We'll see.
Yep.
There's a lot of gray in there, right? How much rain do we get? Because if for some miracle it doesn't rain on Saturday, it's going to be a strange one. The track's going to be super easy, and I don't know. I'm okay with taking a chance. Let's see what this looks like. Maybe it's great, maybe it's not, but at least we'll know.
Yep.
That way, if it is good, it's something we can go back to in the future.
Yeah, look, we'll try it, right? To me, if you know it's going to be so soft and so ruddy, possibility of rain coming down, then do you really want to watch the guys kind of roll down steep backsides, and all of that? Make some rollers, make things easy, spread the jumps out a little bit, and we'll still get good racing, I think. Will it be as good as a dry Supercross? Hell no, but we can get good racing.
I don't know, man. You had me at steep backsides. I will say that. But I don't. It's so up in the air right now. When you have a 50% chance of rain, who the hell knows what's going to happen? I think the biggest variable here is that they know the dirt is already crazy soft, and it is damn sure going to rain tomorrow. So it doesn't set up for a good plan going in. Yeah. We could have reasonable weather on Saturday, and I think we'll still have a rough, ruddy, nasty, difficult track for these guys to get around.
Look, Daytona is Tomac's house, as we know, 7 wins. That was Jett coming into Eli's house, pooping on the rug, raiding the refrigerator, and leaving.
Rug really tied the room together, did it not?
It did, and that's what he did to Eli's house. He was so damn good, and this kid made just...
He was an Australian, not a Chinaman, though.
True. I think he's got this thing figured out. We're going to be at the halfway point. I think Jett's going to have this thing figured out. And maybe this weekend the track is again a little bit of a wild card for Jett. But yeah, man, count me as thinking that he's grabbing control of this thing.
Yeah, I think there's 2 different narratives here. The side of Jett, which I'm such a Jett fan. I think you look at that race, huge the messaging and the that some of those guys had to go through watching him ride off into the sunset in a track that they've had so much success on. Cooper Webb has 6 podiums there himself, and that doesn't get much play.
Yep.
But we all know the Tomac story. He really had nothing for Jett. To be fair, he didn't have anything in the heat or the main event. He was set up in perfect positioning both times to make good on it, and he could not do it. Those are the facts, right? You could talk about the quad, you could talk about whatever you want, but those are the facts. On the other side of that coin, if you're Tomac or anybody else, Sexton, Webb, whoever, you have to look at this weekend as like, okay, we're catching another break with inclement weather, and we have a lot of outdoor stadiums coming between Seattle and Foxborough and Denver and Salt Lake. Like, we have a lot to look forward to as far as we could get more bad weather, and Jett has shown a little bit of a vulnerability there. It doesn't mean he can't ride mud, but those have been his bugaboos so far in 2024. So we've got to stay in this thing. We've got to take advantage of him this Saturday, right? So there's two sides of the coin, but I think you have to like Jett's argument a little bit better than the others, but that's how these things go, right? Like, they're not gonna cry uncle at this point. They're gonna look for silver linings, look for ways to fight back into this championship. But I will say, man, we said it last week, so it's the same old story. But if Jett goes out and wins again in inclement conditions, what else do they have to hold on to here? Like, where are they going to go for some sort of, relief from the onslaught that Jett is bringing? I don't know.
Yeah,
we'll see. We'll find out on Saturday, but that's how I kind of see it.
He's going to make mistakes. Well, he did, and he's still up. He can't win Daytona because it's gnarly. It's Eli's house. Well, he did. Hey, he can't win without a start. Well, he did. It's all these things that he's just checking off the list, right, of things he can't do, and then he shows us that he goes and does it. So it's damn impressive. It is. We're coming up on Indy the weekend after, and thank God that's a closed dome, except, JT, it's going to be soft and ruddy also and break down. So, yeah, Yeah,
it's okay. To me, those tracks like that are no big deal. We've had tracks like that. I think it's just those are a normal part of Supercross.
Yep.
I don't think those are anything out of the norm. We've seen that same dynamic, soft and ruddy tracks for, 40 years, 50 years, whatever. It's just another aspect of it. It's like having a sand track in motocross. It just it's another part of the sport. I don't think it will be some sort of outlier to the results. But I do think if we continue to get inclement weather, kind of rampaging across the country through spring, we could get more mud races. We could have one Saturday, and there's no reason to think we couldn't have one in Foxborough. That's for damn sure. And we'll have to see what the rest of the series looks like. Yeah,
no, absolutely. We get this. I was thinking back to 97, and we had a bunch of mudders to start the year and rain, if I remember right. So, it happens. I'm sure there's another year in there too, but that just came to mind. We just get these weather systems, and it happens, man. People are yelling.
It's all timing.
Yeah,
it's all timing.
People are yelling at Feld about not doing.
It's luck of the draw.
People are yelling at Feld about not doing dome stadiums, and I get some of that. But man, you're gonna get this every once in a while. That's the way it is.
Yeah, there are only so many domes that we can go to. I guess if you wanted to work in Houston, but attendance has been pretty rough. I don't know. I think more times than not, Dirtworks does such a fantastic job of salvaging these races. I think it's worth the risk to be in the venues that you want to be in.
Sure, yeah. Absolutely. Fly Racing Moto 60 Show. We're giving away a pair of 100% goggles and a Fly Racing backpack as well. 702-586-7857. We still have some lines open. Tits is running back and forth between the phones, the video cameras. He's just, really nice to see the guy work for once. And Zach Osborne coming up as well. JT, before we go, I want to ask you a little bit of MXGP kicking off this weekend. Colt Nichols makes his return. Beta just got a top 10. They put out a press release. They're very happy. Beta Benny rode great to 10th. And now Nichols comes back, champion, Supercross champion, a couple years back. Does he run with Benny? Is he around? I don't know where Benny's going to be this weekend. Maybe not top 10. But does he run around where Benny is or better?
It's hard to say. I haven't seen him ride the bike at all. I don't know how healthy he is. I think a good comeback weekend is qualify easily, stay out of the LCQs and get a clean start and just put in clean 21 minutes. And if that ends up being 16th or if that ends up being 12th, so be it. You just want things to go well and not run into a bunch of trouble and challenges and make life harder on yourself. If he's something like that, top 15, 16, I think you have to just chart that up as a success and build from it and move forward, because we know he's capable of more than that. But I just think you have to get in there and get your feet wet and then just kind of let things play out.
I just wanted to find out if you thought he'd beat Benny or not.
Historically, yes, he's been a better rider than Benny across his career, right? We know that. I don't know how prepared he is. That's something people closer to him, maybe in a former life I would have known more than that, but I don't know Is he like 100% like guns blazing, ready to come back, or is he like, man, I got to get back to the races? Like, I could use a few more weeks. I don't know where that stands, and we'll probably know a little bit more after qualifying. But I think the answer to your question is in the margin there. You know, how prepared is he?
As we go forward in this 450 class, and it's round 9 this weekend, the obvious answer is Cooper Webb because he's second in the points. But who do you think is Jett's biggest challenge for this title? Is it Sexton or Tomac or Roczen, or like to me AP and Jason I think are not his main guys. But is it as simple as Webb, JT, or is there somebody else?
I do think it's Webb. I think that it's personally. I think the Magnificent Seven have turned into the Fantastic Four. You know, I think AP, Roczen, and Anderson are out of this thing. You know, they're all basically a race out of this thing now, a race worth of points.
Mm-hmm.
So I think the championship is now down to 4, with Webb being the most likely aggressor there. The only thing, I guess, and basically because he's so good at late races and these rougher, ruddy tracks is where he excels.
Mm-hmm.
The only other things I could say to combat that, and you can tell I don't have a strong opinion on Webb being the guy, is Sexton's getting better. Right, we saw his hand improving. He led laps in Daytona. Like, he looks like he is improving. And then Tomac's certainly better, right? He's gone 2-2 in the last 2 races. He looks like he's kind of found himself. The question is, we know it's going to be one of those 3 guys. Do any of them have enough? You know,
Yeah.
I don't know that they do, right? They can all be better and be putting their best foot forward, but I don't know if that's enough to beat Jett, because I think Jett's kind of figured things out now, and if he has, it's unfortunately I think it's lights out.
Right. Yeah, I think I do think Webb is his guy going forward. I think Sexton will be better, like you said. He got to ride before Daytona, so that was a positive.
Yeah.
What'd you make of that KYB?
Well, think about it this way.
Okay.
So I just wanted to kind of throw this out there. I was up on the podium with those guys this weekend, and you know, Will did a great job of interviewing both Jett and Chase Sexton, and I got to speak with Eli, and I was kind of like waiting for my opportunity, and I was thinking that Sexton had to be looking at Tomac going, you see, like pointing at Jett going, this is what I dealt with all summer. When this guy's on it, like, what am I supposed to do with that? Like, what are you supposed to do with it? What am I supposed to do with it?
Yeah.
We couldn't even keep him in sight. You know, like, he's never going to say that, but in my mind, I'm like, that's what he's probably thinking, is like, what the hell are we supposed to do about that guy? You know, it's just.
Yeah, I think
I don't know that they have an answer.
Well,
when Jett is the way he was, I don't know that they do.
To me, and I've been around enough racers, as have you, you have to tell yourself things to you know, not make a guy seem invincible. And I think at some point Ricky became invincible to everybody, but Jett so early, Eli's going to be like, Eli really focused on that quad after the race, right?
Mm-hmm.
And to me, that wasn't it. I mean, it didn't help, but to me, that wasn't it. Sexton's like, I'm finally healthy. I'm getting riding again. I haven't been riding. So I don't know. I think if you're those guys, you're still fooling yourself a little bit because you have to as a racer. But we'll see.
But, man, would you agree that it's kind of like, yes, I agree on your point, but, man, in your heart of hearts, you kind of know.
You know
what I mean?
Shocking. It was shocking in the heat race, more so than the main. Shocking in the heat race what Jett did to Eli. How fast that was.
Yeah. I mean, it's just that's why, like, in your heart, you know, you tell yourself things to keep your mind in the right place, but in your heart of hearts, you can't lie to yourself deep down. And I think Eli's looking at him going, I don't know, man. I'm older now. Like, this kid he's clearly special. Like, regardless if he wins his title or not, he's special. I don't know. I've been kind of teetering on this thing because I really thought these guys could take it down to the wire with him, but that was a damn impressive performance. I'll just say this. I believe that if Jett loses this title, it will be because Jett beats himself.
Yeah.
That's how I think it will go. I think he'll have to have crashes like he did in Anaheim 2 and crashes like he did late in Arlington. Like, that's why he will lose. It won't be just because somebody showed him how to go faster. I don't believe that will be the case.
Yeah, and then I was talking to Jett Lawrence last week when I was there, and you know, he said that Jett knows now not to do that, what he did in Dallas. He knows that, hey, don't jump it. You know, he's going to learn from that. We've talked about it. He's going to learn. And I'm like, oh boy, like, you know, like what if Darren's right that Jett does learn from that and just backs out of that jump combo and takes the half a second loss, you know, which he totally could have afforded to.
Which he will.
Yeah.
He will.
No,
I don't know
will.
if it's now.
Yeah.
You know,
right.
I don't know if it was a one-time thing and he'll never do it again type thing, but he will learn. Like, this is his first year ever in Monster Energy Supercross, and you look at what he's doing, it's only going to get better from here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's the scary part for these guys.
Fly Racing Moto 60 show. Thanks to the folks at Plum Creek Funding as well. If you got a vacation home like JT, you want to refinance your home, contact Zach at plumcreekfunding.com. He's done a lot of people in the moto industry and done a good job at that. Rates are all right now, and so Plum Creek Funding's the place to go to refi, look for a new property or whatever it is. Thanks to Zach at Plum Creek Funding for coming on the show. All right, I got a question about gear from Ryan. I think JT should know a thing or two about gear. Ryan, what's up, man? What's your question for JT?
Hey, Steve. Hey, JT. Thanks for taking my call, guys. So to preface a little bit, I actually work at a motorcycle apparel retailer, and the latest and greatest technology is airbag vests. So after the Faulkner crash, there was a lot of chatter in the community about this technology, possibly implementing a motocross version of it. There was a recent comment made by this imposter guy who claims to be a captain of a certain ship. I know all that's about, but he said there may be one in the works from a certain company adapted for motocross use. Curious if JT has any thoughts on this technology or maybe has heard similar stuff.
You're talking about the A-Star vest, and I think it's coming from Moto, JT, at some point.
Yeah, I think it's really cool. Kudos to their team for innovating that. You know, I've been to their facilities, as I think you have too, Steve. It's very impressive what they're capable of getting out there. You know, I have questions about the execution side, which I know you and I have talked about, Steve, is just it not having false positives like inflating, or how does it deflate if you just fall over? Like, I know there are ways to work around that, but that's where I think that the difficulties will be in getting it perfected. But man, big picture, anything that's going to keep people safe, or in the circumstance of Austin Faulkner, like prevent a big injury like that, I'm all for it. Like, let's go. Let's break out every possible innovation you can, because we all know that's the worst part about this sport is injuries are brutal, and if you ride and race long enough, it's inevitable you're going to hurt yourself. So let's do as much as we can to take that out of the equation.
Yeah, Ryan, they've got some plans for it. They've tested it, but like JT said, like, you're all over the bike on Moto, right? Or you have some near crashes, and that at times has set the vest off. But they're working on, from what I was told, they're working on a vest that will deflate in 0.2 seconds. It'll have 2 charges in it per, 2 charges, I should say, till it needs to be fixed. And they're working on it, but they are struggling a little bit with the movement in Moto. Like, what if A-Ray, when he raced, just had that thing on? Like, how many times would it blow up on him, So, yeah, or
Absolutely.
Hardy would, yeah. So, they're working on it. I think it happens. I do, yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, I wear the Tech Air 5 on the street when I ride my motorcycle on the street, and I love the thing. It's a little heavy. I definitely have the same concerns as JT as far as execution, and would the riders even be comfortable in it? Would they want to wear it? That's another thing too, right? And I know that
heat as well for outdoors, right? For it's hot, it's going to be hotter. So, but I think it happens for Moto. I know they're working on it. So,
awesome. Thank you, guys.
All right, thanks, man. Appreciate it. Fly Racing Moto 60 show with Jason Thomas on the line. We got Jake on 5. What's up, Jake? How are you?
How are you guys doing?
Good.
So quick kind of comment, question, concern. I'm a little bummed, dude. I'm a little bummed that Eli's riding as good as he is after, however long he's been out, a good couple first rounds of him kind of getting used to it, which his starts of the season aren't usually that great anyways. But, I mean, these last few rounds, dude, he's a total different guy. The round before Daytona, I rewatched it probably 2 or 3 times, and, dude, he's 16 seconds back with 6 minutes to go. And he catches up to second place. Jett makes his mistake, but what made me call in was not negatively, but JT's comment of, if Jett loses his title, he's, only going to beat himself. And I kind of feel like if he does lose the title and someone else does beat him, that almost kind of writes off the title as like a, bugaboo title, because, Jett just crashed. If he didn't crash, he was going to win. So I don't know. I'm not in yet. I'm not in on I'm on the Jett train as, he's a great rider, but dude, I'm an Eli fan, and if Eli can get a win and, pluck some times off in practice, dude, I think his confidence is back, and I think he's hammering again, dude. Like you guys, said Webb is the next guy, but
Right.
fuck,
Well,
I think Eli is.
My comeback would be he hasn't won yet, and he's really good at
Right.
He's really good at Dallas and Daytona, right? So those are good spots for him. But
Correct.
so let's see. Yeah, let's see.
So my question was, do you guys think that if Daytona wasn't as gnarly as it's been, I feel like that was the gnarliest it's been in over 8-9 years minus a mutter. But do you guys think Eli gets going a little bit quicker than nailing that section in the last 5 laps? Do you think he gets going quicker if the track's not as gnarly?
I don't, JT. What do you think?
I don't know, man. I question if Eli had been able to beat him even doing the quad. I don't know. Jett, I'm not even sure where Jett was as far as being on the limit, to be fair.
Yeah.
I'm just
that was my
up as
concern
Jett was
too.
the best guy on Saturday.
Yeah, I just got a spark, dude. The round before Daytona, I saw a spark in Eli,
Sure.
and I just
I like the passion. Do you want a pair of goggles or a backpack?
dude, I'll run a backpack. I'm an X-Gan guy through and through, so
Okay.
I'll run a backpack for
All
sure.
right, sounds good, man. We'll put you on hold, all right? And you can get that backpack
Thank you very much.
from the folks at Fly Racing. Line 5 for the backpack there, Tits Legendary. Ryan wants to talk about Vince Freeze, and JT's a Vince Freeze expert. So what's up, Ryan?
What's going on, Steve? First off, I just want to say that fly gear you wore last week looked awesome.
Oh, thank you.
Now, what's the chances you wore the white fly just to rub it in Kiefer's face?
Yeah, it is funny. Kiefer's big complaint for Fly was no white gear, but the last few years we've seen white, JT, and I would love for you to tell me you did it just to stick it in Kiefer's face, JT. That'd be great.
No, I would never do that to him. It's just
there has been more white.
Yeah, there has been. We've been willing to do it, and honestly, in the past, it was always the worst seller. It was always the worst seller. So when you see something that's consistently last as far as the colorway, it doesn't make you want to do it.
Yeah. All right. What else, man?
So we all know Freeze can get good starts, and he rides a wide track.
Yes.
Well, that causes a lot of problems for the pros, but a win-win, get him out of Supercross, put him in Arena Cross.
What do you think, JT? Should we put him in Arena Cross?
As long as I don't have to race him, you can put him on the moon for all I care.
Yeah, I'd like to see that. He'd be good at Arena Cross. I mean, he's a good rider. He's a main event guy.
Of course he is.
Like I told this.
That's what I dislike so much.
Right. So, yeah, Ryan, I'd like to see him there too. That'd be good. Honestly, the Arena Cross that I went to in Daytona, everyone was too nice to each other. I expected more chaos, so I didn't get enough.
Yeah.
So, thanks, Ryan.
Hey, good job on the webcast, too.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it. Thanks. Appreciate it. Jake's on 6. Hey, Jake, what's going on?
Hey, how are you guys?
Good.
Good. So I just had a question about the Netflix series. Do you know, is that like a done deal? Like it's for sure going to happen? And if so, kind of how do you guys feel?
No, I don't think it's done. I've heard they're talking to them. They want to do it. They're pursuing it. JT, do you know anything about this reality thing that they want to do?
No, that's all news. That's all news to me.
Yeah, they're definitely trying to do something. Whether Amazon gets it or Apple gets it or Netflix gets it, I don't know. But they definitely do want to do a Drive to Survive in Supercross. And I understand that they've had buy-in from the competing energy drinks, too.
That would be so sick. I also have a broadcast comment.
Sure.
So this last Saturday, I had some buddies over that don't really watch racing, or they used to watch racing, like, in the Reed and Stu days.
Yep.
And they just commented how easy it is to follow now, like how much better broadcast is. So I just want to say kudos to JT and the rest of those guys on doing a good job.
Good job, JT.
Thanks. Appreciate it.
Thanks, buddy. Thanks for call.
All right. Thanks, guys.
All right. Let's go to Shad on 3 about Barsha. What's up, Shad?
Hey, buddy. You guys are doing a great job.
Thank you.
The reason I was calling is if you noticed on social media, Barsha's selling his property.
Saw that.
And then recently you just had the stink about Sexton's suspension. So I'm curious if he's on his way out from Gas and then his wife being from Europe, that he might venture his way to the GPs.
He's mentioned that before. He said that he would like to do a season in MXGP before it's all said and done. And like you mentioned, his wife's from the UK. So, yeah, possibility, JT. I wouldn't be surprised.
So Weege says that property has been for sale for a while, and
It
then
has
Ricky
been?
confirmed that. So I don't think that's anything new.
No.
Okay, I didn't
I think
know
he's been
that.
trying to sell that for a bit. Yeah, I didn't either, and I was corrected.
So what about GPs for Barsha? Have you heard? I've heard him say it in interviews.
Yeah, I mean, it's conjecture. There's a lot that has to be sorted out. If Prado left to come to America, that would hypothetically leave a spot at Gas on DeCarly. Like I'm just drawing up scenarios.
Yep.
I don't know. People say lots of things, right? And then when push comes to shove, is he going to get the same money? Because he makes a lot of money in America.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot to sort through there. But yeah, it would be really cool. It would be really cool to see happen.
Yeah. All right, Chad. Thanks for calling. Bud.
Is he upset any about the suspension deal?
Yeah, I think he's not happy with his bike, so he's upset about all of that. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. I think he's unhappy about having to run 48s when he wanted to run 52s on the fork size. I think there's a lot there, but that's part of it. These things happen every year. It's just somebody different.
There's salt thrown on the wound with the way they handled Chase's suspension.
Yeah, maybe. Look, these riders, as I was talking with JT earlier, with Tomac and Sexton thinking about the reasons why Jett is beating them, riders like this, they always grab what they can, and sometimes it's not a bad thing because it's mentally what they need to do. Barsha, in his struggles, could just look at Chase's KYB inserts and be like, that's what I need. That would be the key. And then now you have an unhappy rider, and the process begins. So
Exactly.
So, all right. Thanks, man.
Okay. Thank you.
JT, that is a big spicy meatball to show up with KYB inserts in your WP forks. And, yeah, I'm sure there's that was some politics.
Barsha's not going to want to hear this, but Sexton's the priority. Sexton is the priority, right? If Sexton says, hey, we need to throw everything at it, try anything possible, they're going to do it. And that's just life. Nobody ever said it had to be fair. So, yeah, I mean, I would probably not like it if I was Barsha either, but you kind of know, like, that's how these things go. The guy the shiny new object typically gets, a lot of the attention, and he's got the number one plate, and they've got a lot of their future tied up in Chase Sexton.
Yeah, he's younger. He's a Supercross champion, et cetera, right?
Yeah.
Like what you said. Thanks to
folks. It's the same old story,
Yeah.
Like these things, that's kind of how it goes.
Triumph, Ford Performance, Trappist Pastrana, Carey Hart using Zulz bags, ZULZ bagcode.com. Use Pulp24 code to save. Zulz has you covered with backpacks, travel roller, gear bags, and more. Zulz has the biggest gear bag I've ever seen in my life. They've got it all.
Gigantic.
Yeah, ZU is LZ. Check it out whether you're traveling for work, pleasure, or simply hauling kids and their gear to never-ending sporting events. Use the code PULP24 to save with Zulz. Thank you to those guys. JT, before we go, give me your winners for Birmingham.
I'm going to go Jett. I made a proclamation a long time ago that I just pick Jett under any circumstances until I have a reason not to, and I certainly don't have a reason not to right now.
Okay.
And then 250, I'm going to go. I think Anstey's going to bounce back, and I have if it does downpour and I'm standing there in a hat again under an umbrella, I like Anstey's chances in that scenario.
Not too bad. Okay, MXGP preview. Give me what you got. What do you think?
Man, that Argentina track's an interesting one. It's really fast. And it's the first round. Jeffrey has done well there, but I don't know if it's going to be his weekend right out of the chute. I'm going to go Febvre and MX2. I will take who goes fast on a track like that. Let's go with the kid. Let's go with Lucas Kuhnen to shock everybody. Year 2.
Is he good at that stuff? I don't even know, but
he is one of the wildest, craziest, like, I don't care about anything other than holding my bike wide open riders I've ever seen. So,
yeah. I feel like with him, it's the results are all over the place, right?
It's either win or crash. Yeah. That's all he cares about doing.
Right. All right. Well, sounds good. Anstey, Lawrence, Kuhnen, and Febvre. There's your winners. JT, take it to the bank, I guess. So
no, don't do that. But I'm happy with those.
Okay. Thanks for calling, man. Appreciate it. Thank you.
All right. See you guys.
Thank you. It's the Fly Race and Moto 60 show. It's the show that we have Jason Thomas and, of course, our next guest as well, Zach Osborne. What's up, Zacho? How are you?
It is a lovely sunny day in Florida. I'm doing great, Steve.
Okay.
How about you?
I'm great. We have a celebrity calling in as well. This man has won a 250 Supercross title. It's Jake Weimer. Hi, Jake.
I got blown out.
I can see your name on the caller display.
Oh, no. You
Hate to see it.
Do you have a question
What?
for Zach Osborne, Jacob Weimer?
Yeah, I could ask Zach this.
Okay.
I have a few buddies in the industry,
Okay, few. Yeah.
so I feel like I could ask Zach this. Like, what do we think about Herlings?
Oh boy. Here we go.
I think he's going to win this weekend, personally.
Okay. Well, Steve he doesn't seem like he thinks that highly.
He's an incredible rider. To put him anywhere near the best MXGP rider ever is insane.
Anywhere near?
Anywhere
Not
near
even
Caroli.
Steve,
Not
catch
even near?
reality, bro. That is fried.
Caroli's got like 30 more MXGP wins than the dude. Everett's raced in different eras. The guy stayed in MX2 forever. Like, he's got, yeah. You Herlings fans, this is what you people do to me. It's not even Jeffrey.
I'm
his
pretty
fans.
level on him, but I mean, he's definitely one of the best MXGP riders ever. There's
He's
no
top
question
5,
about
maybe top 5.
that. No, he will likely end his career as the best, in my opinion.
Well, okay, so I propose this to the fans.
So that's not even near.
Not even near.
This ain't
I'm with
making
Jake
sense.
Listen, would anybody, and I put this on the group text, and no one took me up on this. Would anybody like to bet that he does not win the title? I say he does not win this title. He is too injury prone. He crashes too much, and no one wants to bet me.
I'll take it for 20.
Okay, all right. Zach Osborne took it.
I'll go 20.
All right,
I'll
there
go
we
20.
go. All right, I got an easy 40 coming to me. He's gonna
Wait,
win.
you get the field, or you're taking the field?
Yes. He just he crashes out.
He's so bad that you're not willing to pick a rider against him.
I mean, he just can't stay healthy.
Okay.
He just can't. And like,
Hey, Zach's proving my point right now.
Yeah.
You're a hater.
I'm not a hater. It's you fans. It's the Herlings
Hey,
fans that do this.
Have you ever crashed on a motorcycle?
Yes.
Yeah, it happens.
You know what I will say, though?
uh,
The stats that Lewis posted yesterday about him starting 78 and missing 55 or something like that.
Yeah.
That was pretty mind-boggling.
Yeah,
I didn't
it
really
is.
realize it was that bad.
He's a 50% guy, almost. Like,
Yeah, but he probably won 68 of those 78 that he started. So that's pretty
if you like, what point do we say to people like, hey man, Geyser and Febra, they could hold it wide open also. Oh, we lost Osborne. They could hold it wide open also. Zach just hung up. He was so disgusted in his conversation.
Yeah, it's you ought to be embarrassed.
Jake, did you not win a championship? I think you won, right? You won a championship?
I don't know, Steve. You're the expert. Did I?
You did. And don't you think
Okay.
that you were able to you knew when to push the limits, you knew when to play it safe, you knew when to take that podium spot, all of that stuff. You knew exactly when to do that, and you played it smart and you won a championship. Why can't the 84
Correct.
play it smart?
In 84.
Why can't the 84? No, the 84. Why can't he play it smart and just get a title? Why does
the
he
84.
Yeah, why does he have to show everybody that, I'm just the best guy, watch me, and then he just
I agree
cartwheels?
with this theory, but he's definitely one of the best MXGP riders ever.
Do you think he's better than Caroli?
So hold on, I'm gonna because I cheated a little bit because I know some of the guys that are in the group text. So your point is not wrong, but at the same time, I said obviously one of my good buddies is RV. He won 2 outdoor titles on a big bike.
Mm-hmm.
He was hurt the rest of the time.
Yep.
But are you not going to say that he was a phenomenal racer? Dude, sometimes you crash and sometimes you somehow roll out of it and you're not hurt.
He got
sometimes you're
4.
hurt.
Our guy Ryan, who I just got off the phone with, also calling me about Herlings before this stupid show. He won 4 Supercross championships, so I like the 6 big bike titles that he has.
Yeah.
So
that's fine.
What if our guy?
What
if our guy Ryan just stayed down in 250s for 8 years and just kept beating up on everybody? Are you going to run around?
How old was
Brother,
Jeffrey when he got on the big bike?
I actually had this conversation the other day. He had to miss the first 2 GPs or 3 GPs of the season. I think it was 08 or 09 because he was 14.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I don't know, man. This isn't the Jeffrey Herlings Moto 60 show. So, can we talk about him?
No, but what are you hating on? People get hurt. Zach, did you ever get hurt?
Yeah, a couple times.
Yes. I mean.
Yeah. Well, I hope he pulls it together. I hope he holds it together, Jake. I mean,
that doesn't sound like it.
Oh, my God.
I hope he makes it happen because all of you people.
Pulls it together?
It's not
Dude's
even.
running around and. What do you mean you hope he pulls it together? Dude's running around in Lamborghinis and winning races and titles. And what do you mean you hope he pulls it together?
I hope he pulls it together and can go to. I hope he can attend all the races.
I think he's doing all right.
He is doing all right money-wise. I'm sure he's fine. But I'm telling you, people, it ain't Jeffrey. It's his fans. It's guys like Weimer and RV.
Hey, but what about that Seawer stat earlier? That
is
right? Insanity.
Yeah, he's never missed a race.
The GP since he went full-time in 2014.
I think Lewis is wrong. That doesn't seem right. That doesn't seem possible.
Hold on. What is that? I didn't see what. I didn't hear this. What is this stat?
He started the last 189 or 98 GPs straight.
He's never missed a race. That's insane.
Dang.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's tough to do.
Yeah. So there we go. Let's celebrate Sewer. Let's celebrate Sewer.
He actually has his fair share of big ones too. Like the one last year in Argentina was.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, he's
bailed out the front on a pretty big jump.
Love Jeremy Sewer. It's great. He's a great guy. Fantastic. His fans are normal too. They're not insane idiots running around talking about being the greatest motocross rider ever. Jeffrey Herlings.
Who do you think is the greatest motorcycle rider ever?
Carmichael, then McGrath.
Oh, wow.
Look, as long as Roxon and Marvin and Townley, et cetera, leave Europe to come here, you can't put the MXGP guys on that level. Because
I wasn't.
You named like 5 guys, and Zach and I weren't in there. That sucks.
Well, Timmy's in the mix. So, but
so number 1 is Ricky.
Yeah, and then Jeremy.
And then Stefan.
What?
No, I would put Caroli ahead of Stefan. Because when Stefan raced, it was 3 classes that was a little more watered down. Caroli,
some of those years were 140-minute moto too.
And Stefan also got beat by Albie, got beat by Tortelli, and they left. Thank you. The silence says it all. I appreciate it.
No, I'm baffled by these takes. That's why I'm silent. It's not because I don't have an answer. I'm just flabbergasted. Like I have nothing to say.
I didn't expect the Moto 60 show to go this way today, but here I am.
What do we think? What do we think about Jett?
I don't know, man.
I did a Twitter poll the other day. I don't know if you saw it. I got destroyed about it. But there was only one right.
I don't do Twitter.
One right answer. Like, who's the most talented person to ever ride a dirt bike? And the only right answer was Stu. The other 3 were just a formality of putting extra choices. And I got eaten alive by not putting Dungy on there, not putting Eli on there. I'm like,
oh, come on.
Sheer talent.
Yeah.
I did have Hanny on it, to be fair, which I love to watch Hanny. I think he's one of the most talented people to ever ride a dirt bike. I didn't say the best freaking racer. Like, I'm good there. I could have also put Axel on there because he's pretty dang talented too. But, yeah, people didn't enjoy it very much.
Was Timmy on there?
No, he wasn't.
Oh, that's a sham poll.
I passed him once at Destination, so I didn't put him on there.
Okay, all right, cool. Stu is the obvious answer, yeah. And Jett's approaching it though, man. Holy shit! Like,
yeah, I agree.
I'll ask because Zach actually has been at that level. So my thought on this, and I would when we sit around on Saturdays and watch the races with your buddies and your family and whatever. I think Jett is the best I've ever seen. Like, I've seen Stu do some really, really gnarly stuff on a motorcycle, but I feel like if you had to capture it, like, in a bottle, Jett is so much more in control. Like,
yeah, he's more the whole tactic. I would agree with that.
Yeah, I would agree.
Yeah, like, I've seen, like, the that wall jump that Stu did in, I think it was 11 at Daytona, dude, no, I'm out. I'll apply at Burger King. Like, no.
No, I think everybody
like,
would.
nope.
Yes, right.
No.
You and every other
Jett,
person that ever rode a motorcycle so far.
Yeah.
I think he's done some stuff that like no mortal human being would ever want to do. But like if you have to capture it in a bottle, like racecraft versus skill and raceability, like I don't know. Even against McGrath, and McGrath has been my idol since I was a kid. I don't know that me personally watching that I've seen somebody with a better complete package. The kid is unbelievable, and he's so young. What is he, 21?
Yeah, we've seen Stu prime. We've seen everybody else prime. I don't think we've reached that yet.
I don't think so.
I'm a believer that the sport progresses. There's always progression. Like Tomac was better than Bob Hanna. You know what I mean? I really believe that. We get smarter with science, smarter with riding technique, smarter with everything.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Jett is just a generation, better than Stu, and I hate to say that, but yeah.
Yeah, it's not really fair to compare, but I'm just saying, like, we always talk about it.
But Stu, took my breath away, and Jett doesn't do that. Jett's amazing.
Yeah.
Stu was like, oh, my God. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So,
I think that's another thing why we don't rate Jett that way, because he's not that flashy. He's just that much better than everybody else right now.
Yeah. Yeah, and Stu was like, oh, my God,
Yeah.
So, I don't know. Yeah, it's really, as long as we're not talking about Herlings.
I don't know. Maybe Herlings. He might be in there.
Here we go. All right. Hey, Seat Concepts, Pulp MX24, seatconcepts.com. Jake Weimer, Zach Osborne on the Moto 60 show. Thank you to Seat Concepts. Each seat incorporates a proprietary foam formulation that is designed to provide unmatched support and impact dampening to the rider. Are there any great Jake Weimer, Zach Osborne battles that we need to talk about?
The only one I remember was Branson in 2002, I think.
Branson.
Yep.
Jake showed up out of nowhere.
I only had one, but yet you're there.
He's a little bit older than me. How old are you, Jake?
I'm 36. I think you might have been 2 years younger than me or something.
Yeah, I'm 34.
Am I right?
Yeah, because I feel like, Jake was out and Zach was gone, and then Zach was in and Jake was already premier class. So, you guys never really matched up.
No.
I don't think in the professional side.
So, okay, so let me ask you, let's put this thing back on track here. No more Jeffrey Herlings talks. We're going to move on to Birmingham. Jake, I'll start with you. Does Jett just have this? I think so. What he did to Eli in Daytona was amazing. He's got 10 points, and yeah, man. I know this weekend's going to be soft and ruddy, but I think the kid's figuring this thing out.
Yeah, I mean, I've always been a big fan of the sport, so I always analyze everything. But what I see is that he's only getting better. People want to criticize him if he doesn't win a race or something like that. But it's like, dude, you're not going to win every race that you line up for. But I think what he did in Daytona, and even I don't even want to say Daytona. What was Daytona, the 8th round, I think?
Yeah.
The two mud ones, maybe the one that wasn't as bad I kind of count, but the one that was really, really bad, I don't count that one. Really. It's just, you're survive. You're just trying to stay on two wheels. That's all you're trying to do, and you hope that you can get through it. But I think the kid's only getting better. He's really, really young. I don't see it going in. If you look at an Eli Tomac or whatever, which I am not discrediting him at all because we have watched him do some amazing stuff, but I think, what are the odds of you getting better at what's Eli? He's in his 30s. What are the odds of you getting better? So I think there's obviously no guarantees, but I think they're in trouble.
Zacho?
So if we go back, I said before Dallas, Eli has to win here.
Yep.
And he got second, but he won the battle, in my opinion, like with the ride that he had from the back and the statement that he made, like that was vintage Eli Tomac. Like that was him being a badass. And that stopped it all this weekend, in my opinion.
What he did to Eli in the heat was shocking.
All the momentum, just
shocking.
See you later.
Yeah, so I don't, yeah.
What surprises me, though, is that you're not much of a Jett hater, Steve.
I'm not. No, the kid's awesome.
No. He denies the interviews just like Jeffrey, but you hate Jeffrey for it.
It's got nothing to do with interviews or not. Absolutely not. It's nothing to do with that.
Sorry, I had to say it.
I talked to Jeffrey before years ago. I'm fine with it. It's the fans that do it to me. What I like about Jett, and what I like about Jett is he was in the small bike class, won a bunch of titles. Was like, you know what? I want to challenge myself. I'm going to go to the premier class. I'm going to go up to the big dogs. Some riders just don't do that. Some riders just continue to rack up wins, and then what happens is guys challenge them, but then there's rules where you reach a certain age, you got to leave. And
it's crazy.
And then guys just stay down, even though other guys have left. Yeah, it's odd. Jett hasn't done any of that,
Yeah, but he started when he was 15. What are you gonna do when you're making good money? You're winning races, like. Oh yeah, I'm good. I'm gonna go here where I'm gonna get
so
beat.
You can do that, but then what happens is people who really know the sport, like myself, will judge you accordingly.
Yeah,
will judge you accordingly. Damon Bradshaw was 16, 17. He got put on the podium in a 450 Supercross race. 17 years old. Because you know why? Damon was like, "Fuck it."
Bro, you're talking about like 30 years ago.
Well, but the mentality is the same. I want to challenge myself. I want to move up. I want to race the best. I'm good enough. That's the mentality.
Okay, I'm trying to challenge you, and I'm trying to tell you it's not the same now.
Okay, so there's a meeting. I've been texted. There's a meeting at Applebee's on Tuesday for the Herlings fan club. I don't know if you guys want to go, but it's Applebee's.
Yeah, I'll be there.
Tuesdays at 9.
AA for Herlings haters rehab.
Let's take some phone calls. Can we do that?
Yeah.
All right. Are you staying on the line, Weimer?
I mean, I'm here.
Okay. All right. Jonah, what's up? What's your question?
Hey guys, kind of looking forward to the outdoors this year. We're heading to a new venue this weekend, and I'm curious if we're ever going to deviate from the same 11 rounds that we have for the outdoors. If you ever heard anything rumored for a new track or in the past, I'm just curious.
Yeah, there definitely has been talks of other tracks. Davey went out to Florida or Charlotte to look at a place, and I think at one point Barber, speaking of Birmingham, Barber Motorsports was going to do a national. Zach, did you hear any new tracks or anything else?
No, I haven't heard of any rumors in a long time. I mean, in Florida, WW or Gatorback's got to be there, right?
Yeah. No, this was with Chad. Chad's track or something. Remember, Chad was part owner of a track or something. No, Jonah, haven't heard much. But do you want a pair of 100% goggles?
Oh, absolutely.
All right, stay on the line. All right, you win. All right, next question. Andrew wants to talk about Pittsburgh. What's up, Andrew?
Hey, Steve, how's it going? Zach and Jake, how's it going? So Pittsburgh, I heard on a few shows ago you mentioned it was on a very, very early schedule that you saw.
I saw it on a schedule, yeah.
Okay, but we know, Pittsburgh rains a ton in that time of the year, and, I'm 20 miles out, so I'd love to see a Pittsburgh Supercross race. However, I understand why there's not one, right? So I'm not mad there isn't one, but I wouldn't be mad that there would be one. And so at what point does Feld go, okay, you know what? We know it's going to be muddy. We know it's going to suck. We're going to go there anyway because we love the fans. When does that play a part in their mind? And does it ever? And is it always cost-benefit analysis?
Yes, it's the second one. I don't think it's we're going to go there because we love the fans. It's can we put a Monster Jam in there? Can we get the stadium for cheap? Does it work out for the travel schedule? Does it serve this market? Birmingham is serving the southeast market, right? I guess Atlanta people aren't far. So I don't think they're doing it for the love of fans, Andrew.
Okay, that makes sense. Do you think they come back to Pittsburgh? Because, like I said, I'll be out there in my waders and water.
I don't know, man. I saw a schedule with Pittsburgh and Kansas City on it. I saw it with my own eyes. So they're definitely venues they're looking at.
Well,
Kansas City, Arrowhead?
Yeah, the Arrowhead, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. All right. Thanks, man.
Good talking to you, Steve. Thank you so much. Have a great night.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Jake Weimer, Zach Osborne here on the Moto 60 show. Vertex Pistons. Zach, you ever use Vertex Pistons? I think they're a sponsor of your Husky team.
Probably.
Are you racing this year, Zach?
I don't have a deal. I'm going to Dan Dirt this weekend, though.
Jake, he's going to come back for outdoors. He's trying to come back for outdoors. Can you believe that?
I can.
Why? Why would you want to come back for outdoors?
I mean, he went to Europe and then came back here and then made a career. So, yeah, I can believe it.
It's a good point. AllBallsRacingGroup.com, Vertex Pistons, precision equals performance, a member of the All Balls Racing Group. They are your choice for aftermarket pistons, gaskets, complete engine rebuild kits for ATVs, UTVs, and dirt bikes. Manufactured in Italy, Vertex pistons are both cast and forged, while their gaskets are proudly made in the USA. And I want to thank the folks at 100% Goggles as well. Pulp30, the code to save at 100%, ride100%.com. Jett Lawrence, using 100% Goggles, a true champion. Jett Lawrence, 100% Goggles.
Steve, I saw a call on Twitter earlier for more closed stadiums. Let's hear your thoughts on that.
Sure. Yeah, it's great, right? I mean, if this is a crappy race this weekend, it's not going to be fun.
I think it's going to be crappy. I mean,
I know. It ain't going to be great.
It looks like red clay and rain, so.
Yep. Nick's on 4. He's got a thought about the guy who took Jett's goggles. What's up, Nick?
Hey, guys. First, you guys left Kevin Windham out of that all-around rider thing. Okay. But
fair enough.
Since we got Zach and Jake, they can attest to this. Anyway, I grew up back in the day. Hannah and RJ, that would have never happened. I was there when RJ's helmet got stolen, and the fans helped him get it back. And he even almost socked the guy that gave it back to him, and he collected the helmet.
When was here?
Anyway,
what year was this, or where was this?
88.
Huh.
But
wow.
But what would you, in that situation, can you just explain the disrespect of that to some of these fans? Because in that situation, what would you, Jake or Zach, do? Because I just saw it disrespectful, and it kind of ruins it for people like me that kind of collect memorabilia.
Yeah, I found it like way out of line. The whole thing, the fans rushing the track, and it was just a mess. And I mean, it's going to ruin it for everyone, I think, in the end. But I had a little bit mixed feelings about it because he wasn't really like fighting or
he wasn't,
trying to pull his head back, and he didn't seem pissed about it either. So like, I'm a little bit, I guess, mixed on it.
Yeah, Jake, what would you make of it?
I would say I saw it, and I'm like, I think it's massively disrespect on the spectator side. In Jett's case, like, you're doing a burnout, and Zach, you've done a burnout. What are you gonna do? Like, you're gonna shut it down and swap the guy's hand off, or like, you're kind of in a situation where there's really not much you can do. But as far as the fan goes, I think that's extremely, like, dude, come on, like, don't, like, that's out of line. You don't do that.
Yeah.
Right, and you guys know back in the day that the fans would have beat the guy's ass and gave Jett his goggles back. Nobody even, it was like they cheered him on.
I mean, I hate to be the old man yelling at clouds, or maybe I'm already that way, but like,
you are.
Isn't that just a picture of what society's like today? Or you know what I mean? Like, isn't that just an example of where we're at as a society? Between the rushing of the track and the school and the goggles.
A little bit. I do have to say one thing, though, is Daytona is a completely different clientele in terms of fans, in my opinion. Like, it's not your average Supercross crew, of, like, the people that go to Anaheim or whatever. Daytona it's like its own thing. There's lots of people from South America and other countries, and, like, not in a slight in any way, but it's definitely a little bit of a different thing. Maybe it's a cultural thing. They saw it appropriate. Like, either way, I'm not defending it, but Daytona's a little bit different, in my opinion, from a people standpoint.
Thanks for the call, Nick. Thank you, man.
Do you get that or no, Steve?
Yes, I think you're right. Yep, I think you're right.
Yeah.
Speaking of the show that celebrities call in, Cade Clayson's on 1. What's up, Cade?
Well, Zacho brought up my argument with Starling on Twitter because Starling is saying he wants all enclosed stadiums, but the enclosed stadiums are notoriously small, except for Arizona, and I just can't get behind it. Like, rain isn't that big of a deal, and like Anaheim, the bigger baseball stadiums and even some of the bigger football stadiums are like necessary, because if we're racing on 40-second tracks every week, I'm out.
Okay.
What do you think? Like, what are your thoughts on that? I couldn't fathom racing a 40-second track in an enclosed stadium every week.
Zacho?
Me? I'm the opposite. Obviously, it's a little bit based on my experiences. I like 40-second tracks. I like it when it's tight. I like to watch those races better. Races like Dallas, that's where it's at in my opinion, but that's just me.
Really? Man,
Yep.
do you like the Anaheim races where they're like closer to a minute? Like, those are so cool to me. Like, the tracks are a little bit bigger, they can make the rhythms a bit gnarlier, I think. I don't know. It's just, in my opinion, I like the bigger tracks. But, you're now the third person to say that to me. And I don't know. I just can't get behind it. But I guess I could be wrong.
Yeah, I mean, I get into that argument every now and then on Twitter that, like, oh, here's another basic 40-second track. Well, then you go and watch, and most of those produce some dang good racing.
All right. I'm with Cade, but I think we should have all of it. But
I agree. I'm with that. I'm definitely not on board with the all enclosed 40-second tracks. Like, I am a fan of the speedway tracks. I like that.
Yeah,
track. I love to watch it. I thought SMX was awesome. I like Anaheim. Like, I'm about it all. But if it were down to me, like, I'm cool with that. You know what I mean? Like, I would thrive in only 40-second tracks. So of course I'm going to say do it. But as a fan, the more diversity, the merrier.
Steve, are we not going to Atlanta because the SMX races are all at speedways and they didn't want to have more speedways? Or do you know why we didn't go back there?
We're all at drag strips. The 3 SMX rounds are drag strips. So think Charlotte and then Dallas and Vegas. So not so much speedways, but drag strips.
Those are all one owner. Do you think that's has something to do with it?
Oh, good point, Zacho. Maybe. They're all, maybe.
Or the Smith family passed away.
Why would they go with the Smith stuff when they're owned by DMG? That's odd, but I don't know.
I don't know. Maybe there's maybe some underground stuff there.
Yeah.
I don't know. You're a journalist, right? You should check that out.
I'm too busy on the Herlings beat.
Sorry.
Hey, Cade, listen, you're a 16. Yeah. What the hell, dude? Are we putting in the main event?
I mean, I'd freaking hope so, especially with a few guys out this weekend. Some bad luck and bad decisions on my part have cost me, so I'm just going to keep beating my head against the wall until I get it right.
Okay, well, I'm looking closely at you for Pulp Fantasy. Closely.
That's great. I heard Paul was pumping me up today.
He was, yep. Okay.
I like that. All right.
Thanks, Cade.
Boys. Bye.
See you. Bye. I mean, I'm down for variation of all of that. Jake, what you coming out to any races anytime soon?
I was thinking about going to Indy because I like. I'm drawing a blank right now, but the steakhouse that's right by the stadium.
St. Elmo's?
Yeah, that's the one. I like their shrimp cocktail. So I was thinking about coming to that one.
Okay, all right.
I'll definitely be at Salt Lake. But yeah, that's the only 2 that I have planned.
Okay, all right. Well, before I let you guys go on the Fly Race and Moto 60 show, I need your winners for this weekend. Zacho, I need your winners.
AP, and I'm still on that Anstey hype train, so I'll go Anstey.
AP?
Yeah.
All right.
It's going to be wet.
Jacob?
I guess I haven't looked at the weather. How wet's it going to be?
Wet.
Like bad?
Well, it may not rain on Saturday, but they're building a mud track. You know,
they're building a mud track.
I've
never heard that.
Like a tamer track. I guess mud track wasn't right. They're building a tamer track. Sorry, my group texts are currently going off about Herlings still, so I'm reading those as well.
I think Herlings is going to win.
I wish I was in these so I could just badger you even more.
Herlings?
Okay. I would say, well,
Okay.
I would say.
Come on, Zach. Come on, Jake. It's not that hard.
I know. Well, you didn't prep me for these questions. I called in.
Who's gonna win? That's I need to prep you for that.
Yeah. I would say. I mean, AP for sure. It's so hard to bet against Jett because he's just doing such a good job. I'm going to give you more than one answer. I'm going to say AP or Jett, And then I'm going to say I could see Anstie, Vial.
Okay.
I'm going to give you 2 for both.
All right. And then MXGP winners this weekend, Jake.
I don't know the lights class very well, or the little bike class.
Or MX2?
I'm going to say Jorge. I don't know the lights class very well.
Okay, so Jorge
it changes so much.
Some guy named Jorge is going to win the MXGP?
I think so.
Okay. Zacho, MXGP?
I think Herlings.
Actually, hold on.
Okay.
Febra. I want to throw Febra in there.
Okay. All right.
I think Herlings and Langenfelder for a win.
Okay.
But I think my guy Jack's going to be pretty good.
Yeah.
Going like 5 to 8 there.
Okay. That'll be good. Hey, 5 to 8 is solid.
I'd be stoked with that.
All right, guys. Well, listen, Zacho, you didn't get to ask. I think you didn't get to answer the usual number of questions because Weimer called in, but it was really good stuff between you two guys.
It was fun.
Yes. Jake, thank you for calling in.
Yes, sir. I had to.
All right, we'll talk soon.
Let's go, Jeffrey Herlings.
Okay, sounds good. You and RV getting that group text. It's absolutely insane. Thanks, Jacob.
Why'd you leave the group text?
Yeah, because it's people like you. I had to get out of there. I had to get out of there right away, and I don't want to go back in.
Wow.
Well, all right.
Thanks,
Jake.
Jake.
We'll see.
All right, see you, buddy.
All right.
All right, everybody. Zach, as always, good stuff this weekend. We didn't even talk 250 East at all.
It's good.
So just Anstey's going to win, though. That's fine. Thanks.
I mean, it's been underwhelming so far.
It has been.
The hype train I was riding at the beginning, so I'm waiting. I'm going to give it one more week.
All right, sounds good, buddy. Thanks for the time. We'll talk to you next week.
Later.
All right, see ya. All right, sorry for the calls we couldn't get to. Tits, great work behind the scenes.
Today I actually feel like you mean it.
Yeah, I did.
Yep.
And usually I don't.
I know
Right.
that. Yeah.
But today, Tits was phenomenal. Thanks to Zach Osborne, Jake Weimer, Jason Thomas. Thanks to Jeffrey Herlings. Fly Racing Moto 60 Show. See you next week.